Introduction to Farm Records. Farm Accounts and Records. Recall from the Agricultural Economics Unit that the farm manager is responsible for deciding which crops to grow and quantity of each, obtaining the materials with which to grow them, the labor involved in all aspects of agriculture, and the marketing and transport of products to the consumer. As with farm accounts, farm records need to be written down and updated frequently to keep track of these many responsibilities. Farm accounts are statements that detail financial transactions related to the farm's business. You learned about farm accounts in your agricultural science course last year. Farm records are written documents that review the daily activities of the farm. Each activity involved in the production and marketing process should be documented in farm records. This unit will review farm records. Importance of farm records. Farm records must be accurate, neat, thorough, current, and ideally simple. Farm records will not guarantee the success of a farm. However, a farm that does not keep good records will definitely not be a success. Farm records can be used to measure and compare farm and management efficiency. The information gained from reviewing farm records can be used to determine and compare how the farm and farm management are working. Farm records offer the farmer or farm manager a great deal of information about how the farm runs. Farmers should use that information to make decisions. This knowledge can be beneficial for comparison from year to year and for planning for the farm's budget and future. In addition to planning and decision making, the information provided by farm records will help the farmer understand the progress, strengths, and weaknesses of his farm. The information obtained through farm records can also be used to evaluate or compare the success or failure of a new scheme or enterprise. For example, dairy products versus maize cultivation. Other possible enterprises to be evaluated include a new method of marketing, additional mechanization, the introduction of a new crop, or use of a new agrochemical. When reviewed in conjunction with farm accounts, farm records can help a farmer to monitor changes in the prices of commodities, products, and services that can be exchanged for similar products and services. Understanding price changes can ensure that the farmer is accurately pricing their products and obtaining the best prices for any purchases. Price monitoring is also helpful in creating the farm plan and farm schedule, as the prices may impact the crops and amounts planted. As with any business, sometimes a farmer encounters theft of items, overcharging, or misrepresentation of a quantity or quality. Keeping accurate farm records can help identify fraud or theft. Farm accounts and records are almost always required in applications for loans and other financial services. The organization that manages the loans wants to know that the loan money can be returned with interest. Farm accounts and records can demonstrate this potential. Farm accounts and records suggest good business practices, which is necessary for loans and other financial services. The information provided by the accounts and records, including total worth of the farm and enterprises, can indicate that the farm is financially healthy and worthy of investment. This information is also used if a business is to be bought or sold. Since farm records detail the products of the farm that generate revenue, farm records and accounts should be used to determine annual taxes. You may have local, state, and federal taxes. Keeping accurate records and accounts will help you to plan ahead for tax payments and to include these payments in your farm plan and budget. These accounts can also be used if you wish or are required to audit, examine the finances of your farm. To measure and compare farm progress and efficiency, the information provided by farm records and accounts should be examined and questions answered. For instance, was the cost of mechanical farm equipment worth the price? Did the quantity of product increase after the equipment is introduced? How did the cassava crop yield this year compared to last year's crop? The information derived from farm records can also be used to conduct research on your farm. For example, does the crop grow better with one fertilizer or another? Is the pest control method more effective, or is that one? This information can be incorporated into the farm plan. Farm records show the history of business transactions made by a farm. A business transaction is the exchange of commodities, including money, for other goods and services. Farmers participate in business or financial transactions when they pay or receive money or other commodities in return for goods or services. Finally, farm accounts and records can be used to monitor the health of crops or livestock. This information is helpful when caring for those products. It can also be used to plan ahead for the farm. To review, reasons to keep farm records include to monitor changes in product prices, to identify fraud or theft, to obtain loans, financial supports, or in transfer of a business, to determine annual taxes, and to maintain a history of business transactions. Further reasons to keep farm records include to use account information to make decisions, to measure and compare farm and management efficiency, to evaluate the way an enterprise is performing, to use the information to conduct research, and to monitor health of crops or livestock.